In Charleston at Poogans Porch with Chef Daniel Doyle. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thanks for being here.
And we're talking about a very exciting topic today, biscuits, which everybody kind of loves a biscuit, right?
I think so, and if you don't, I don't know why you don't.
Right. We don't want to be friends with you if you don't like biscuits.
I mean, at least like enough to have a couple a year.
You guys are known in part for your biscuits. But for those who aren't even familiar with like what makes a biscuit versus a bread, like what is a biscuit and why does it separate itself from other bread?
Well, I mean, a biscuit, usually originated from being able to make a quick bread. So a biscuit's technically a quick bread, and so rather than doing like yeast rolls or baguettes and things that take a long time to produce, you can make biscuits relatively quick. So I think that's how they became prevalent in the South, because it also, you can most people have most of these ingredients in your house, at least you would. So if you need to make a quick bread, a biscuit was a go-to. Probably that, and then probably next would be cornbread.
What do you think the secrets are?
Well, the secrets are is how you hound the biscuit, number one.
Yeah.
You want to, fold it to make layers. You want to get at least 6 layers in there. You also don't want to overwork your dough. And also you want to have a good bit of leavening, baking powder, and a good bit of like fat, either lard, vegetable lard, butter. You need that fat to really give that flaky, really good biscuit. Perfect. You can use an all-purpose flour. You want to use, a little coarser grain flour if you can find it. You don't want to have a really fine, over-processed flour. The less processed the flour is, the better the biscuit's going to be, in my opinion.
How do you find the right ratio of like putting something in a biscuit while also not overwhelming a delicate dough?
Well, that's a good question. Basically, what you would want to do in that is you basically just want to add a little bit at the time.
Yeah.
And as you're folding your biscuits together, just make sure that it has the right ratio. You don't want to overdo it. If you're going to do something, it's better to do like an herb, in my opinion, or a little bit of a cheese. It's fun that you could play with that and add like some really nice Parmesan, or maybe some really sharp white cheddar. Make a really good biscuit.
Wonderful. Well, can we go in the kitchen and get started?
Yeah, I think we can. Now we're back in the kitchen and we're going to get started making biscuits. And so what we have here is about 4 cups of Adaloo flour. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add probably about 2 tablespoons of salt, just a little bit. Then I'm going to add about 1 ounce of baking powder. Well, next I'm going to add about a half a cup of vegetable shortening. Any kind of brand would do. The next step that you really want to do is you want to start mixing all that together first. Start breaking up the vegetable shortening all throughout the biscuits. You want to make sure that it's evenly distributed. So after that, you're going to add probably about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of just regular granulated sugar. So basically all I'm doing now is just trying to make sure that all the clumps and everything is mixed evenly throughout the flour. So now you've got, it's pretty good, nice and broke up. Now what I have is just some cultured buttermilk, and so I'm just going to add this. This is probably about, this is about 1 quart. I don't think I'll quite use this all. The consistency needs to be almost like a good way of saying, almost like a wet sand almost. You want to kind of get it nice and mixed together, a little bit doughy. It's not quite right yet, so I'm going to add a little bit more. This is probably about where it would need to be. It's almost like a Play-Doh consistency, if you will. So you wanted to give it into a nice little round ball, dust it with flour one more time, and let it rest for probably 3 or 4 minutes. So this is really where the key is right now. So really what you want to do, so when you got to this point, the key to a good biscuit, in my opinion, is layers. So you're going to want to fold it at least 6 times into itself, like over. You want to be delicate with the dough because you don't want to overwork it, because that'll make you have a tough biscuit. The key is just getting it nice and layered. You don't want to like fold it too many times, no more than 8, I would say. And at this point, you have a nice circular ball here in the middle. Nice and even. Try to smooth out some of the cracks before you roll it. Ready to start, you're going to take the roller, you want to roll from the middle to the out, like that, until you get probably about a 1/4 inch thick. And now you're pretty much ready to cut. First thing I would do is cut it to make sure it's the right thickness, just to look at. And then you want to start from the outside in so that you're not wasting dough. So go 1, 2, and so on, and just go around. From that amount, you should get about 15 probably, 15 to 20, depending on the thickness or how big your biscuit cutter is. Once you go ahead and cut all the way around, you can fold back in one more time. I mean, after that, it will become too tough. You don't want to like do it too much. Take the cutter, roll it back out just a little bit. Like I said, it's very key not to overwork it at this point. Just go ahead and cut the rest of them out. And there you have it. So these are ready to go in the oven. What you're going to do is you're going to preheat your oven to 350. At the house, you might want to go to 375 because it probably won't be convection. But preheat it to 350. It should take 12 to 15 minutes. I usually check them at 12 and rotate them and let them finish for the last 3. And you should have a very fluffy, beautiful biscuit at that point. So it's been in about 12 or 15 minutes. I think these biscuits are probably ready to go. You just want to make sure that they're golden brown. So let's check them. And these are perfectly done. Thanks for watching. These are the biscuits here at Poogans Porch.